everyone, my name is Ryan and welcome to Book Talk. Today I am dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood because today we are going to be discussing Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series. So I made a book talk for the first book in the series, which is Cinder, and Scarlet is the second book in the series. So this book takes place immediately after the events of the first one, and if you couldn't tell because of the cover, this book is like a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. Like the other one was Cinderella's, Scarlet. She got the cape. So Scarlet is the second book in the Lunar Chronicles series, and this book is about an 18-year-old girl named Scarlet, and she lives in France with her grandmother, but recently her grandmother has gone missing with no trace of where she's gone. So Scarlet has to go on an adventure to find her grandmother, track her down, and on the way she meets a street fighter named Wolf, and he accompanies her to find her grandmother. When I first learned about these books, I thought they were gonna take place in each character's point of view only in each book, but we actually follow with Cinder's point of view in this book. There's also a new character named Thorn who accompanies Cinder on her journey to escape from the prison. So yeah, if you haven't read this book, you should leave right now because I'm gonna spoil it for you. So if you haven't read it, bye. Bye if you haven't read it, bye. Okay, let's discuss. One of my favorite parts of this book was that we got Aiko back because Cinder put her personality chip into the ship, which was really cool, and how she was like commanding the ship and she wasn't commanding the ship, how she was part of the ship and she could talk through it, and it was really, really cool. Here's like my cape. Okay. So we meet up with a new character named Thorn, and I really like him. He's super funny and sarcastic and really fun to read about. I loved how he and Cinder teamed up to escape from the prison, and he had the ship and they could fly away. I loved the part when they were trying to fly out of the warehouse and all the guards, the royal guards, or were they lunar guards? I don't know. All the guards were trying to capture them, and then they finally got away. It was so cool. And then when Cinder plugged herself into the ship and she lost all her energy, and Thorn was like, oh my god, is she dead? And then when Cinder figured out she could plug Aiko in, I was like so happy and so relieved because I love Aiko. She's such a great character, and I'm really glad she got to return in this book. Okay, let's talk about Scarlet. So Scarlet, she's 18. She lives in, what is it, Rio? Is that how you pronounce that? She has like one friend. What's her friend's name? Emily? How do you pronounce it? It's French, like Emily. Where is her name? Oh. It's like Emily. Hey Millie, if you're watching this video, you're in French, so can you tell me how to pronounce this name right here? Thanks. Down there, probably. I love the part when Cinder and Scarlet met up with Emily, and then they had to question her for information, and she was all terrified. I felt really bad for her because she was probably really scared, but they were nice, so it's okay. Oh, let's talk about Scarlet. I forgot to talk about Scarlet. So she lives with her grandmother, Michelle, and she was living with her grandmother until she disappeared, and that's when she needed the help of Wolf, who was a really cool character. I really enjoyed him. He was really interesting. I was really mad when he betrayed Scarlet and got her kidnapped, but I was happy that they got to escape together, because whatever. I'm gonna put this book back because I'm getting tired of holding it. I'm putting it back in my shelf. I hate Livana so much. Kill her. Kill the witch. Bring her down. Overthrow the monarchy. So Scarlet's a lunar also. We figured this out because we figured out that her grandmother had an affair with a lunar, and her dad's half lunar, and Cinder's quarter lunar. No, not Cinder. Scarlet. I meant to say Scarlet. Scarlet's quarter lunar. Scarlet, Cinder, and Wolf are all lunar. Thorn's not. As far as we know. He might be, probably, because like everyone's lunar in this story. I really wish that we had another cyborg other than Cinder, because I think hearing about the cyborgs was the most interesting part of Cinder. That book right there, Cinder, that was like the most interesting part for me, like reading about how their brain interprets things and how they like scans across their vision. That was so super interesting for me, and I'm glad that we're still getting it with Cinder, but I wish that we had another cyborg to hear about the point of view from. We probably will. What else could I talk about? her dad. I didn't like her dad because we didn't get a feel for his character, because mostly in the story he's like crazy and looking for the thing that the lunar gang wanted him to find. So he was like going insane because of that. And then we find out that he died because of alcohol poisoning, but really we think that like the lunars killed him. But he died in the hospital, and Scarlet got a message on her, what's it, net screen. Oh, I really liked the scenes in the train with Scarlet and Wolf when they boarded the train, and like Scarlet was down in the bar and she got like a coffee, and then she met Ran and he got like a chocolate milk, and then she ended up getting one, and then they had to like go back in their room because someone got the plague. I wonder if whoever got the plague in the train is gonna play a story in Cress. I don't think so, probably, because it was probably just a way for them to like motivate the story or for them to escape from the train. I was really sad when Wolf betrayed Scarlet, and I was like, what are you doing? He came through in the end, I guess, but I was just really frustrated that like she trusted you. She trusted you. She trusted you. When Wolf was knocked out and they had to carry him to the ship, I was like, I was a wreck. I liked Wolf at that point. I was frustrated with him before, but at that point I was like down with him. I was like, okay, he's a part of the team. We gotta save him. And then Thorn has to get knocked out because what's his name? The thaumaturge was using his mind powers on Thorn, and he was gonna kill Cinder, so Cinder had to shoot him with her dart, and then so they had to carry both of them back inside, and it was a wreck. The part when Aiko slammed into the two guards and knocked them over, I was like, yes, what a queen, doing work as a ship. I love Aiko so much. I hope she plays a more like central role, because I loved Aiko. Aiko was like Cinder's only friend. Just because you got real people friends doesn't mean you can forget about Aiko. Okay, so I was really disappointed that we didn't hear from Dr. Erland at all in this book, because obviously he's in Africa. Cinder like forgot about him for like however long, like a week, and she was just in France. Didn't come to Africa like she was supposed to. It was a little cringeworthy when Scarlet and Wolf were like, oh, you're gonna be like the alpha female. I was like, ooh, it's a little too soon to be saying these things. The kiss was cute, but they were like, it was a little awkward because they had like met like a week ago. It was a little cringy. I think the romance was like really rushed kind of there. I think it could have developed during Crest. It just sort of happened like in 2 seconds, and I was like uncomfortable a little bit because it was really soon. It's been like 3 days, and he was like evil wolf trying to eat you for like 2 of them. Oh my god, the part where the police officers came for Cinder and Thorn and like the wolf people were killing everyone, I was like, I was shooketh. I was terrified because they killed like so many people, and I felt so horrible because Cinder like had to use one as a human shield so she didn't die, but she eventually escaped. But yikes. Okay, so I think that is all I have for this book talk. Definitely read this book. It's a really fantastic series and I love where it's going. I didn't enjoy this one as much as Cinder because it took me a little more time to get into. It took me around like 150 pages maybe, because it was really slow at first with Scarlet. The Cinder and Thorn sections were not slow. They were really fun and easy to get into, but the Scarlet sections at the beginning were kind of boring at first, but they picked up eventually. So I would give this book a 93 for that reason, because it was a little bit harder to get into. I'm reading Cress right now. The cover is so gorgeous. This is one of my favorite covers ever. So I'm reading Cress right now, and I will have a book talk up next week unless I do a tag in between. Either in next week or in 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. My upload schedule is every Saturday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Cinder and Scarlet and Wolf and Thorn traveling across the world. Team Earth! We're gonna kill Queen Levana, and Kai's gotta marry Cinder, or else I'm suing, cause I love them together. Ship it. Get it? Cause they're on a ship? Ah! Ship it.